Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm Louise Ramsden and I'm going to be showing you my favourite biscuit recipe. Why is it my favourite? Because it's super quick. I don't like to spend hours in the kitchen. So you'll see how quick the process is. First of all, we're going to start with the dry ingredients, and got a cup of cashew nuts. I like to measure everything out in cups because it's, again, really convenient. So I've already measured that out. That's a cup of cashew nuts. And then I've got a cup of ground oats. So these I have blended in my Magimix, and I do a big load of them so they're handy and ready to go. So half a cup of dried oats in there as well. The only other thing we need here is half a teaspoon baking powder and quarter of a teaspoon of salt. It's always good to put a little bit of salt into sweet recipes because it just balances the sweetness, and I'm using Himalayan sea salt, which has plenty of nutrition in there as well. So that's my dry ingredients. Just give that a little bit of a stir. So you've probably noticed there's absolutely no flour, butter or eggs or white sugar in this recipe. So what is it that's going to make this this biscuit recipe tasty? Tahini. I'm using this suppressor brand because it's quite runny, and the tahini adds a really lovely chewiness to the biscuits, plus very high in protein. So it's ground sesame seed paste, and I'm using a third of a cup of that. I've already measured it out. So the sweetness from this recipe is coming from maple syrup, one of the better sweeteners because it's unrefined and it has got obviously more nutrition in it being unrefined than white sugar. So I'm going to put a third of a cup of maple syrup in there. So I'm just literally adding it in to my cup measurement to keep things easy. Just another little bit of oil in the form of olive oil. Again, that's just going to help it make it nice and chewy. And then finishing off with a teaspoon of vanilla. So that's my wet ingredients, and I'm just going to give that a little stir. And then simply add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. So you can see as I blend it, it starts to thicken up. So depending on your tahini, the mixture can be a little bit thicker, or if it's a runnier tahini, the mixture will be a little thinner. So if it's quite thick, you can roll this mixture into balls to make your cookies. This is probably just dropping consistency, so I'm going to just do little drops on the baking tray. So to finish off, I'm just going to add some raisins and some chocolate chips. I've done this recipe with all sorts of combination of dried fruits, dried nuts, so chopped walnuts, chopped almonds, cranberries, dried blueberries, they're all great. It just happens that this is what I had in my store cupboard today, so that's what's going in, plus my nephew's coming this afternoon and he loves chocolate chips, so that's for him. So there we go, all done. So bringing over my baking paper, I'm just using a couple of spoons to dollop out sort of 50p, slightly bigger than 50p size blobs. And like I say, I have, if the tahini was a little thicker and your mixture ends up a bit drier than this, you could do roll balls of the mixture, and you could even roll them into sesame seeds before you put them on your baking paper, and that makes a nice alternative. can see, I've got 12 cookies there, all ready to go in the oven, and I'll show you what they look like in a minute. So you're going to bake them at a low oven, around 150, not so high to preserve the nutrition in the sesame seeds, and you'll just need to bake them for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to keep an eye on them, and when they're browned, then they're ready to come out. All right? So there we have them, my healthy, easy cashew and tahini cookies. If you'd like to hear more about what I do, go to my website on www.louiseramsden.com. Thanks a lot.